Hey guys, it's your boy Jeameave back again with another video of Views from the Heart. If you're new to the channel and enjoying what you're seeing, please feel free to browse my other videos as well as subscribe because it really helps me out. That being said, I have a 2018 Lexus LS500h with the H meaning hybrid, courtesy of Southway Infinity. Once again, thank you so much to everyone involved. I appreciate you guys so much. So the 2018 Lexus LS500h, which is, again, as I've mentioned, also a hybrid, is powered by a twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6 pushing out 414 horsepower and 440 pound-feet of torque. So I'm eager to get this bad boy on the road. Let's go ahead and check and see what this bad boy is all about. Let's go ahead and get it. Let's go. So what's this like driving a 2018 Lexus 500h? 500h being the hybrid. And this vehicle is courtesy of Southway Infinity. Once again, thank you so much, Will, for this opportunity. I appreciate you so much. Please introduce yourself to the audience as well as provide your number for anyone interested in this vehicle or any other vehicle available at Southway Infinity in Torrance, California.
Alright, my name is Will. Work for Southway Infinity. You guys trying to get to a pre-owned, a new vehicle, hit me up. Phone number is 323-491-3975.
Well, you heard it the first. Remember, this vehicle is available for sale at Southway Infinity. So if you're interested in this vehicle, hit up my guy Will, because this is something very interesting, isn't it, Will?
It really is.
This is the first time I've ever even driven a Lexus hybrid, been in it, even really looked at it. And this is the first time Will even experienced this vehicle as well, right?
Yes, it is.
So it's extremely comfortable, and I think that's even a disservice to say even extremely, because as you know, this area is notorious for some of the worst roads, honestly. But so far, this is probably the most comfortable I've ever been down these streets. The sound deadening is insane. Can you really hear how quiet it is in here? Little to no road noise whatsoever. You are extremely isolated in here. The only thing you might be able to hear is possibly Will's cooling seats right now, even though you might have them on the lowest level. But other than that, you might be able to hear the weird sort of multi-stage transmission that is mated to the 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 pushing 416 horsepower and 440 pound-feet of torque in here. And what I mean in the sense that why it's a little bit weird is because it's technically a CVT, but it also has 10 gears. I guess it's due to the hybrid powertrain in here, but it's interesting to say the least, because you can hear it kind of like, let's see. So like, you know it's a CVT because you can the way you can hear it, but at the same time it has 10 gears. I don't really know what that's all about exactly, but you falling asleep?
No.
You're
You're looking at you to make sure I'm on the camera.
Alright, my fault. Because you reminded me.
That was yesterday.
But anyway, well, you have the full, or you did have the full massage seats going on just now. Yeah. How would you describe that to yourself personally?
You guys get this car, make sure you drive with a massage on. It's amazing.
It's I've driven a few vehicles before, like you know, early model S Class, like back in 08, where I felt the massage seats back then or whatever, and it was pretty weak. The best way I think I can kind of describe this is almost like as if someone has put a shirt over they palm their hand, put a shirt over it, and kind of just like an actual masseuse. You know, you feel it. It's not no gimmick, not no baby type feeling. You actually definitely feel the massage sheets going on. It's something that is really hard to convey, other than you gotta try it for yourself, because it really does do what it says it's gonna do. And it has different settings for like centrifugal, centripetal. You know, that's obviously the way the massage settings will oscillate throughout the seat. You have full body from neck head to toe, basically. Well, not technically your toes, but from where your calves, wherever your legs land on the seat, that's as far as it will go, and including your buttocks, which is interesting. How did that feel for you, Will, when you felt the sensation down there?
I don't like to get my butt tickled, so that was weird, super weird.
Mark said that too, right?
Yep.
I got Mark when he first tried it, said it was weird. I personally didn't try it because I just didn't choose that option. But overall, you can definitely feel the sensation completely throughout the entire seat, which is pretty incredible in my opinion. But again, I'm just so amazed at how quiet it is in here. I don't know how many other vehicles you've driven though, Will, but just try and kind of explain like how actually quiet it is in here. You don't hear anything outside of it. There are a lot of cars driving by and you can just barely hear just a shimmer of the things that are around you. I think that's something that is kind of dangerous at the same time, because yes, that's something you would like to have and be completely isolated, but what about in the case of like an emergency vehicle? You would still hear it, but you really won't hear an emergency vehicle until it's pretty much probably right in front of you, right next to you, you know? You're not gonna hear any sort of emergency vehicle in a distance, that's for sure. You definitely won't. And this like I said, this is the hybrid, so it does have auto start stop, and man, I'm just amazed at the level of quality in this entire cabin itself. Like, just I love how this design looks over here in the center dash. You have like a glass right here. I thought, both of us thought this was touchscreen because at the angle of sunlight that we had, it didn't appear that there was a glass right here, but there is a glass casing, and then the actual screen in and of itself in the dashboard. But like, look at this design right here. Well, I don't know how well the camera's picking that up, but it has like a very, how should I say, contemporary or futuristic type art feel. I'm not a big artist or big art person, so someone can correct me in terms of what sort of art that is supposed to be mimicking, but it gives a real nice, clean, elegant looking spice to it, don't you think?
It really does.
It's something that but see, that was a pretty large pothole, but did we feel that?
Not really.
Not really. That's something that is really hard, and we're in Sport S, mind you. We're not in Comfort. This car actually has Sport S right now, so it's in its, for this car, harshest suspension setting. So let me flick it into custom or comfort. So we are now in bumpy road mode. This is so let's experience the car as it is, being in what it's supposed to be, or probably will be most likely primarily driven by the average customer on a day in and day out basis. I don't really see people consistently driving this car in sport mode, but we are in comfort, and right away I could definitely tell that the suspension became a little bit more supple. I felt like the car just overall just became less restrained. It just kind of mellowed out, you know? Again, this is definitely one of the most different cars that I've done before, but after driving a few S Classes, we can look on the roof of the interior. We have suede Alcantara all over. This does not have a panoramic roof, but I think it would look amazing if it did have a panoramic roof. Unfortunately, it does not. But you have suede or like Alcantara on the roof lining. The use of materials in here is honestly exquisite. I would say it's pretty much second to none, you know, Rolls-Royce, Bentley, and those kind of brands notwithstanding. I feel like this is every bit as much opulent as your Mercedes S Class, your Audi A8, things of that nature. Well, how would you describe this interior in an episode, especially considering that this is the first time you've literally sat in here just as with me?
Interior's pretty nice. I like the brown suede it has down around the inside. Pretty spacious. Boom! Got a little laptop over there.
Yeah, you have a little tablet screen back there. This review will obviously be more focused on the experience for the driving occupants. Obviously me being the driver and Will being my passenger. But again, the level of quality in here is right up there with the very best by far. I feel like the only thing where Lexus will lack in this vehicle is that, as far as I'm aware, and from what I've researched, as of 2017, there is no longer a V8 option in here. So there is no higher optioned engine that you can put in here that will be, you know, equivalent to like a, you know, a M750i or a Mercedes S560, which, you know, obviously the bi-turbo V8 with 565 plus horsepower for both models, with the M760i being a bi-turbo V8 for the V12, excuse me, not V8, V12 for the BMW model. But when it comes to the interior in and of itself, the premium use of quality materials, like I really can't pinpoint anywhere in here where I feel like, even for this price point of like brand new, this vehicle is probably about 85,000, around that range, obviously depending on local market. But I mean, seriously though, well, like if you're just looking around in the interior, you can see that the level of materials used in here, just the quality of it, just touching around, feeling it, I mean, it just feels great to the touch. That's really hard to come by these days when you're talking about a car interior in and of itself. I feel like Lexus has always provided really good interiors, you know, for their vehicle models pretty much across the board. What I feel like Japanese automakers as a whole though tend to lack is offering your higher horsepower engines. They really don't offer much above 500 horsepower. I feel like 500 and below tends to be Japanese import sweet spot. Now, unlike the Germans that tend to really overload you at times with power, they keep it a little bit more subtle, and I guess the majority of the money that you're spending, as opposed to going to the horsepower as well, goes to the level of quality that is expended within the interior. And I can say that I definitely do see that, because it's really clean, that's for sure. Jesus. All right, cool. So let's do a little pull right here. That's pretty incredible for a car that weighs 4,850 pounds. Do you really see that? Like, the crazy thing about this vehicle too is that you don't feel speed in here at all.
No, I don't.
You really cannot tell how fast you are going, honestly, because you don't hear any wind noise, you don't feel anything. And this road in particular is terrible. Like, it's one of the roads that I hate going on when I'm doing my little test drive route, because if it's not a supple car, you definitely feel it. But in here, we're obviously getting near the end. Did you really feel anything?
No, I didn't.
It really absorbed just about every single imperfection in here in a very, very good way. And like I said, we are back in comfort mode, so
that's not like
so like you ascending into heaven over there.
Bro.
All right, cool. But even for a car that is this large and has no semblance of anything sporty, did you feel much body roll in that turn just now?
No, I did not.
No, like I said, don't misconstrue what I'm saying and think that you can take this in the canyon to start carving up some roads. But I would have expected to feel the mass of this vehicle, like the weight, and feel it transfer from one side to the other, and just feel it overall start wafting a bit. In here, that was not the case whatsoever. It feels well planted and well, just like secure in just about almost every scenario, other than obviously extreme spirited driving. I'm impressed by this package. You know, like I said, I've always had an affinity for Lexus. It's just that for me, for Lexus, Lexus really appeals to those that are looking for a comfortable car with exquisite materials used for the most part. But the one thing that Lexus always lacked for me personally is the lack of horsepower in most of their vehicles, which I guess can also be attributed to the fact that Lexus in general as a whole is actually using BMW's B58 power plant for a lot of their vehicles across the board. Toyota owns Lexus. As some of you know, the new Toyota Supra is using BMW's inline 6 twin scroll turbo called the B58 engine. And it's also rumored that in the next ISF, it will also use another BMW power plant. Whether that be the B58 tuned to a higher degree remains to be seen, but it feels very much so that the mutually beneficial relationship between Lexus or Toyota and BMW is definitely reaching new heights. But if you could afford this right now, would you get this?
I would.
So without a doubt, with like just like that, you would get it just like that.
Yeah, okay, just like that. If I had the whole cash, we're done.
And why would you feel that you would choose this car? Because again, there are still a lot of options in this price range. This right now, I believe like it's going right now for $78,000 around there at South Bay Infinity.
Correct.
There's a good amount of options to choose from with that price point. So why would you feel like you would go with this for this one in particular?
Suede seats, massage seats. I don't know, it's just nice. It's pretty spacious in the back.
Yeah, honestly, there's space to pretty much do whatever with whomever in here, you know. But this is remarkably comfortable. The sound deadening is out of this world. I've never really experienced a car that is this silent before, and overall, I would say that if you have the means to and can afford it, I'll definitely say get this vehicle if you're looking for something that will pamper you literally and figuratively while driving throughout, because this is something that you can definitely daily drive, and at some points you might want, because that's how comfortable it is. You have to really, in a sense, pay attention while you're driving, because you do feel like as if you're in a soft touch setting that just caters to your every whim and just overall feels great. And like my guy Will is struggling to stay awake with me.
No, I am. No, I am.
He's really struggling. You still have the massage he's going on?
Oh yeah.
So you see it's working. He's being caressed in a very elegant way. But with that being said, this vehicle is once again courtesy of South Bay Infinity in Torrance, California. Will, can you please provide your number once again for all the people watching?
Yeah, phone number is 323-491-3975.
So with that being said, the materials in here is exquisite. The craftsmanship is almost second to none. It's just overall an extremely lovely experience. I would behoove anyone that has the means to be able to afford this, that is looking into a vehicle of this nature, to definitely cross shop this, definitely check this out. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Appreciate you guys so much. Have a blessed day. It's your boy Jeameave, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm out.